your girl, Nia Nicole. Nini is home on YouTube, the Pretty Girl Coach, the self-love and confident mindset coach. Make sure y'all tap into my channel. We just vlogged our whole Sunday.
Yes, and you know who it is, Infinite Gems, aka Michaela, and we are going to be having Self-Love Sunday podcast today. So we're going to be giving you guys some gems, and we're just going to be freestyling a conversation just for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy, and yeah. All right, so the first topic that we're going to be doing is self-love and confidence, and I'm just going to ask her some questions, and she's going to ask me some questions, and yeah, it's just going to be a conversation. So my first question is, what are some ways you help boost your self-confidence?
Some ways I help boost my self-confidence. Let me see. I'm gonna say like my main go-to thing, like when I know like I don't feel cute, is really just changing up my hairstyle. And I'm a go-to girl. Like I like to look different, and it makes me feel confident knowing that I look good in different ways. I think that's what it is. Because sometimes I feel like, do I look pretty? You look at yourself and you don't really know. Like I get tired of looking at myself sometimes, so I like to switch it up. Just keep myself on the edge and just fall in love with myself every day. Like find something new and exciting to learn about me. That's it. But I want to say the quickest way really was to spend that one-on-one time with myself. Like really just to listen to myself. Sometimes I just need to lotion my body down, and it feels like that's. Like lotion my body down for what? But I'm like, I'm lotioning my body down, and I know the next person who sees my body is gonna appreciate it, and it's gonna be its best self. So just thinking happy thoughts really boosts my self-confidence.
I agree. So like for me personally, what I like doing is, like you said, taking that one-on-one time for yourself. So like I like doing like baths, like bubble baths.
Oh yeah, I love it.
So like I'll do bubble baths. I like doing that, or just cleaning up my whole space and then cleaning myself just makes me feel like refreshed. So I feel like that boosts my self-confidence, because just like whenever like your external environment feels good, like and like safe, then it just helps like your internal self be more safe and just make you feel better more about yourself, I feel like. And also, like you said, I like switching things up. Like I like changing my nails or changing my hair or changing my lashes, just changing things about me, because I like to keep it interesting. Like I like to keep it fun. You know, like you said, sometimes it gets boring looking at yourself every day. So like you have to find new ways to like just fall in love with yourself.
Yeah, exactly. That was crazy. It's kind of what goes back to one of my questions. I was asking you, what does self-love look like for you, and how often do you practice it?
I would say I try to do something at least once a week. Whether like you don't have to really spend money. Like you said, even just like lotioning your body, like I said, just cleaning your house or cleaning your body and just making sure you feel good. Like I feel like that's very important to do really on a daily. Like I try to make sure like my home is clean. Like I come back to a clean home, or just like do things just to make myself feel better about like me and my external surroundings. Because like I feel like whenever like I'm already like all over the place, so sometimes when things are cluttered, like it just kind of adds to
extra clutter.
Yeah, and then I just feel claustrophobic, and I'm like, I just feel like there's too much going on, and I get overstimulated.
Like I cannot live through this right now. Definitely, I definitely feel that. Also, like when it comes to how often I practice, like it really is a process. Like self-love is a process. You see yourself being confident is a process too. I know I'm not as confident as I was yesterday. I'm even more confident because I went through what I did go through yesterday.
Yeah.
But as in like practicing it, I like to kind of stick to my routine every day, and then that kind of is me practicing self-love. But when I do like get off hinge, then that's the part I'm like, okay, I can't continue to beat myself up over this. Like sometimes self-love is just me being okay with not being okay.
Yeah.
So
sure.
that's a whole.
It's just kind of like accepting all parts of you, because like you're not going to be like perfect all the time. So just accepting the flaws or accepting the times that aren't as like okay as you'd want them to be. Just learning the lesson, or just learning what you need to, and gaining the knowledge that you need to from it.
Exactly.
Second question is, what is like the importance of self-love. How important it is to have it for yourself so you don't like start comparing yourself and feel jealous of others.
Yeah, and oh my God, girl, like living in the world we live in today, what you just get on the internet and you just easy to compare yourself, like, oh damn, she looks good and I don't really look like that, or like, dang, I wonder what I would look like if I had that. And I know, like, sometimes it's stuff on myself, not like really jealous, but it kind of lowers my self-esteem almost.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's not me, so it's her. And then it's kind of hard, like, as women to kind of give another woman their flowers because, you know, you think that
you deserve it.
Yeah, exactly. But I want to say for me personally, girl, what I have to do is like really know what I want. I'm a sure person, self-assured. So knowing what I want and knowing what it takes and knowing what I gotta do kind of keeps me focused and not to compare myself to others. And I know, like, being this grown age girl, I'm 24 years old, so it's really hard when you're trying to make friends or you invite people into your life and then you want to share your confidence with other people, or you want to be like vulnerable around certain people to see what they think, but then it might portray you a different way. And then now you're looking at them like, who do you think you are, you know? Right. So I really feel like it's just being sure of yourself, knowing who you are, and a lot of people don't know who they are. Yeah. So it's hard to fall into that. But I want to say, like, jealousy, when it comes to other women, I really, personally, I like to praise other women. Like, okay, I appreciate what they have, because I know if I wanted it, I would go get it, you know? So I like to work hard and stay focused on the goals, set up my goals. So I'm like, okay, it's kind of like a mental competition a little bit, and it's not like I'm setting myself up for competition with her. It's just I'm setting myself up for competition with myself. Yeah, for sure. Who I was and where I want to be.
Exactly. I definitely agree, because I feel like it comes to a point where you have to realize that everybody's on their own path, and sometimes you don't know how that person got that thing. Like, because some people give up morals or self-respect to get the things they get, and then like you might think, oh, they have this or they have that, but I mean, it all comes at a cost. Like, it really is important not to compare your life to anybody else, because when you don't know how they got it, and if they did get it in the right way, you shouldn't be jealous of that. You should let it inspire you to push you further in your path and make you focus more on your goals. I feel like it's unnecessary I just feel like it's unnecessary to be jealous, because like, if you really want it that bad, you can go get it. And like, you just feeling jealous is you just not wanting to be able to get it yourself. You just see it and you're like, oh, I want it, but you don't want to actually put in the work. You know what I mean? So,
and that's it. Like, jealousy is really like, even if I do feel envious or jealous or, you know, get that feeling, I like to take time, like, okay, self-reflect. Like, look at what I'm doing. Yeah, immediately check yourself.
Because it's like, what am I even...
Exactly.
Who am I to be jealous of? Who am I to judge?
Yeah, like, where are those feelings coming from? And do that person even deserve it, you know? Or do I deserve this to myself? That, it really makes you feel bad. That goes into my next question, too. Like, because when you do compare yourself to others, sometimes it is damaging to your self-esteem. Like, you start to think of yourself a little lesser. In other situations, of course, damage your self-esteem, like relationships and other BS relationship, like not family and romantic, like relationships is draining. So how long do you think it takes to build self-esteem after it's been broken?
I mean, it just depends how bad you want it. Like, if you're willing to put in the work and then you create a routine, I feel like you can get your self-confidence up within 30 days. Like, what I like to do is like affirmation, like reprogramming your subconscious mind of how you think about yourself, or getting to the root of why you feel that way, and then understanding that it doesn't have to be that way, and just transmuting the energy into something positive, and then just moving past it. Because I feel like it doesn't take that, it's not that hard. I mean, obviously you have your up and down days, but like, I feel like your main day point should be positive. You know, every day is not going to be perfect, but I feel like most days you should feel pretty good about yourself, especially if you're speaking to yourself highly, and if you're working on the things you truly are passionate about, then I feel like that, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely do.
Yeah. But let's see, my next question is, what are some ways you struggled with self-love?
I'm gonna say, like, being the nice girl, like, you know, don't get me wrong, like, I'm a total bitch. But when it comes to being, like, the nice girl, sometimes I find myself being, like, a people pleaser, or overcompensating, or because I know like I want that love back in return. So I know what I'm gonna do. And then sometimes that's damaging because I just set myself up to be disappointed by other humans. And it's crazy because we're all human, we all go through things. Like I can't expect them to be perfect nor reciprocate anything that I give. Yeah. Whatever I give, I have to give that genuinely 100% without respecting it in return. But it, like in my past, it definitely damaged my self-love, just being that nice girl. And it's okay. Like I feel like being nice is okay, but everything comes with the price. Everything comes with the cost. So I just like to know what what I'm gonna miss out on by being that nice person.
For sure.
Or if I need to be that nice person, I know I'm gonna go extra heavy on the self-love later.
Yeah. So like for me, some ways I've struggled also is kind of like you said, being too nice, like basically getting taken advantage of, like just being the nice person, and then me thinking it's me and not them. But that was me just not having that awareness at the time that people are just people, and like not to really take things too personal. Like I feel like I'm pretty emotional, like, and I pick up on different energies, and sometimes I realize that the person just wants me to feel like that, and it's not even me wanting myself to feel like that. And it's that person that really can kind of feel some way about me, and then that's why they're moving the way they move, and so they're projecting onto me a certain feeling of myself. So then, I mean, sometimes it is myself, obviously, but sometimes your thoughts and your feelings can be projected onto you from other people. So it's important to decipher what energy is yours and what energy is not yours. But I feel like that's definitely some ways I've struggled, and just with social media in general, especially like just growing up in that age and it all being fresh to a lot of people. I feel like we've all had those moments where you just been on social media, like, oh, I wish I had that, I wish I had this. But I mean, you should grow out of that. You shouldn't be doing that your whole life. At some point, you need to be like, okay, well, if I want it that bad, I'm just gonna go get it. So yeah.
It really is about knowing what it takes, and like, oh my God, these questions are bouncing back and forth. It's going into like, how do you feel about people projecting your like possible insecurities onto you? As in, like, someone telling you, don't you hate the way, like, you carry yourself, or something of that nature. Like, someone trying to make you feel insecure about something that you clearly are aware of and clearly aren't fazed by.
Oh, well, it's so funny when people do that, because it's like, I know who I am. So it's like, you can't tell me something I don't already know about myself. So it's like, even if you are projecting something onto me, like, if I say, like, I want to achieve this in life, or I want to do this, like, I've had people, like, look at me sideways and be like, really? Like, I'm like, I'll say it straight up. Just because you can't do it or you don't want to do it doesn't mean I can't.
Exactly.
Like, don't bring that energy over here.
Right, don't try.
Because I'm going to get what I want. So, I don't know about you, but I say keep that energy over there. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to get what I want, and I'm going to get what I put my action into. So, anytime anybody projects anything onto me anymore, I confront it. I know when somebody's projecting onto me. Like, I've had people, like, just because I'm self-confident, be like, oh, you only care about yourself, but for so long I was a person only caring about others and nobody cared about me, so now I care about myself and I'm selfish. Well, I'll just be selfish. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just go tell them to go fuckers.
And then that's one thing I can say, like, really why I becoming the Pretty Girl Coach was really because people were projecting their insecurities onto me. Like, I want to say, I'm not gonna lie, growing up I was a cocky girl. I've always been conceited. Like, I did have moments where I didn't feel good, and what I used to do was like sit out all my clothes in the morning and wake up extra early and take that time to get cute for school. I used to be the girl to wake up 5 o'clock, do my makeup, and then catch the bus for school. Like, I really put in that time to love myself, and people would look at me like, who does she think she is? Or, oh, she's stuck up, or she thinks she's better than us. Then have some girls who wanted to follow the leader, like, oh, Nia, what do you do? What you do? And I didn't fit into either one. Like, I didn't become the mean girl or the bully of like, oh, y'all just mad because I'm better than y'all. Or I wasn't like, okay, girls, y'all do what I say. I was more like, I'm me, be you. You know, and I always push people to be who they wanted to be. And if you didn't feel like putting in the extra energy to take care of yourself, that's what you wanted to do. And then, it got to a point where it was affecting my self-esteem. Like, am I stuck up? Do I think I'm better than people? Like, it had me question myself.
I hate when people say that to me, because it's like, I never said I was better than you.
I never said that.
You think I'm better than you.
Exactly.
I never said I'm better than you.
I never said that. And just think for like an adolescent mind, like a young mind. growing up, I'm born in 1999, so I grew up with the internet, but around the internet, it was more of like, you showed off what you have, and people already know who you are, so now they're finding you on the internet.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I show up on the internet, everybody's flocking to me. It's like they're looking for me on the internet. So by the time we did get on the internet, it was more of like a popularity thing and people following you. So I did thank God I lost my old Instagram, but I'm kind of sad about it. But I'm kind of happy too because I lost all those traumas I was kind of holding on to, and I thought that made me who I was, you know.
Yeah.
And it really didn't. But girl, it broke me down to a point where I just wanted to be there for other people so much, so they could feel how I felt about myself. And it didn't work. In reality, it took more of the energy away from me.
Yeah, that definitely drains you helping somebody who doesn't want to help themselves.
Exactly. So, or even helping someone who criticizing you for helping yourself.
Yeah,
so
that too.
That's really draining. Like, how could you be mad at me because I love myself? So, becoming the Pretty Girl Coach, I've realized and recognized why I was so confident when I was younger, because I had people in my life who wasn't afraid to push me up and recognize me for being great. Mm-hmm. And then also realizing that what other people are going through does not have anything to do with me. Yeah. And what I can do is provide the most support, the most comfort and endearment I can. Mm-hmm. So the Pretty Girl Coach, I'm here to help anybody obtain that mindset and feel confident and pretty just like I do, because it really starts on the inside before it touches the outside of you.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. People get confused, like, don't project that on me.
Onto me.
Yeah, like.
I worked hard to get this self-confidence untouched. It's hard to get it untouched because a lot of things, you can have confidence, but like things can take shots at it. You can let it break you down. You can really get sucked into it. But if you know who you are, then you can't break that.
Can't break that. And that's what I'm like.
And that's what people hate too, when they can't break you down.
Yeah, especially, or they hate when they get to you, when the shots get to you, but you build it back up. You know, I'm like, what? Those are just little pellets, actually.
Yeah, I dodged those bullets.
Right.
You thought it was gonna hit me?
You thought I was bleeding out? No, actually.
No, actually, I patched it up. I'm fine.
I'm fine.
My next question was problems you've had with people crossing boundaries and how to set boundaries and stand by them.
Ooh, girl, crossing boundaries, like, it really starts at home, like, for real. It be your parents. And then, because the way your parents treat you, you go out in the world and you think other people's going to accept that or other people's going to take that.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to crossing boundaries, like, my family crossed a lot of boundaries now where I'm kind of stiff on people. But I'm real big on, like, you having to use your voice. Like, you know, people are only going to do what you allow them to do. Yeah. So one thing about me is if I have a chance to remove myself from this situation without addressing it, I'm going to do that. No. But if I have to address it, I'm going to have to put you in your place and let you know where you stand and where you can step. No. You know, and it's only because we're human. And then I like to move with more kindness to the people I care about, because sometimes they can be offended by you setting boundaries by thinking like, oh, you're like, again, you think you're better than me, or oh, who do you think you are to remove me from access to you?
Especially when it's family and they feel entitled to that position.
Yeah, or just to position they entitled to. It's
like,
position.
I don't even know you.
Like, I'm not.
Who are you?
Like, what?
Like, do you even really know me?
Exactly.
Because like half the time, if they really knew the true you, they always have something to say, or they're judgmental. And that's not even just family, that's friends and stuff. Like, I made a rule, it's like, if I can't be myself 100% around you, then there's no reason for me to be around you. Like, I'm not saying you accept anything from anybody, but like, if a person is just being who they are authentically, then let them be them. As long as it's not harming you. Now, if it's harming you to your detriment, then leave. Don't. That's when you are on the other side and you set that boundary and you say, I'm not going to take this anymore from you. But yeah.
Exactly. But it's like staying true to your boundaries. So, goes into my next question. After setting a boundary and someone like gaslights you into breaking your boundary, how often is that a thing? Like, are you like stand on business?
I feel like it took me a while to get to stand on business, but I feel like it comes with practice. Like for me, I kind of find like fun in it, especially when it comes to like men. Like
their game.
It's kind of funny, like just seeing them like kind of like playing with their egos, especially when you think you're gonna play with me. I'm always 10 steps ahead, so you're just gonna make yourself look stupid. Yeah. So like, eventually, like, I got the hang of it. Like, you learn the game and you know not to let people take advantage of you, and you know how to just what to accept and what not to accept. And when you really want something, then you're not gonna accept anything that's not that. So
Anything less. Yeah.
so then you're just gonna stand on business, because if I'm not gonna be with somebody, or I'm not gonna deal with anything that I don't want to deal with. Like, if I don't want to deal with them, I'm just not gonna deal with it. I
Not gonna
mean,
do that.
it's just that simple.
Putting my foot down.
Putting that foot down.
Yeah.
Especially if it is anything to do with disrespect, cheating, lying on my name,
And then being
talking
like,
behind my back.
yeah, and like the older I'm getting, I'm like standing on business about my morals. Like,
It's important to have morals.
yeah, and then when it comes to like how you feel about big views and big topics and current events, that's really gonna show you who a person is,
Yeah,
especially
for
in a
sure.
small amount of time. Because girl, it's when it comes to men setting boundaries and like moving forward, it's so many people in the world, you know. But when you meet someone, you want to give them the benefit of the doubt
Yeah.
and kind of show grace and let them develop and grow into this person you think they are.
Yeah.
But in reality, you set that boundary and you move forward. You cannot
Yeah.
wait for a person to grow and change.
Yeah.
If they don't add up,
Yeah, like for me,
subtract.
I can understand if we're at a certain level and we're growing like kind of slowly, but as long as you see progress. Now, if it's been like I say, you shouldn't be in the same position you were in last year. You should be doing better in some aspect, whether it's physically or emotionally, like just like bettering yourself. I feel like you should never be in that same position. So when it comes to somebody holding you back, like, you gotta know when it's time to let somebody go. Like, it's different. Like, I like giving people the benefit of the doubt and letting people have it, because you have to hold space for people to grow to some degree. But like, when it comes to them disrespecting you, that's kind of different, especially if it's continuous. So
Yeah, you got one time break my boundary. It's gone, buddy. And that goes into my next question. Have you ever felt trapped in a repeated cycle in life?
So I feel like everything in life is a lesson. Like, everything's a test. Like, you have to look at it from the outside looking in. Like, people get so sucked into the 3D reality that they kind of forget that life is really a game. Like, you're here, it's a school. You're supposed to be learning these lessons and then passing the test and then elevating like to the next level. So I feel that whenever you're stuck in a cycle, especially if it's one that's holding you back, it's universe. You can't, like, I'm gonna give an example. Some people are in toxic relationships, okay? But then they see on social media like these happy relationships. But how are you gonna have a happy home but you're not there for a person, like, physically or emotionally, like, or you're not there for yourself in that way, like, to a mature level? So like, there's a certain standard you have to be at to be able to have awareness to break out of the cycle. And sometimes it just takes people to just be down so long and finally just give up and be tired of dealing with the BS, and finally saying, okay, now I can move on because I'm just tired. Like, some people are just so tired of dealing with that and they want to move on to something else, which is good, but it shouldn't take you years to figure that out, because sometimes it takes people till they're on their deathbed to figure that out. And it's really sad because you kind of wasted your life whenever you just let a whole bunch of things hold you back.
Yeah, and especially missing out on all those opportunities. And I also feel like, and what was I going to say? I also feel like being trapped in those cycles, it's only because the outside is what's affecting you. Like, you're not self-reflecting. Sometimes you get sucked in those cycles and not picking up on the actual lesson that's supposed to be learned because you're so comfortable with what's going on the outside of you.
Yeah, and then sometimes it's not even you really controlling it, because you gotta understand, like, most people don't have control over their thoughts or feelings or mind. Everything is just what they've been programmed by either family or society. Like, some people don't know who they truly are. They're just a whole bunch of programming from society and their family, just like splurging out. They don't have any really sense of identity because they haven't really tried to go within and figure out who they are and really understand what works for them and what they actually believe in their morals. People are just out here going based off what they see on like social media, especially like the younger minds. Like, they're pushing a lot of things to the younger kids, and I just feel like it's very impressionable. It's not even just on kids, on adults too, because when it comes to like the news and propaganda and like what they allow out and for us to consume and what things they keep hidden. Like all of it's very top secret, so there's a lot of things that are certain agendas that can affect you on a subconscious level. That's why it's important, like I said and you said, to be aware of those things that are unconsciously affecting you and bringing those things to light and understanding where it comes from and how it's affecting you and how it can get you out of a cycle that you're stuck in, financially, romantically, friendship, family, all of it.
And I also,
politically, all of it.
yeah, and I also truly heavily believe that, like you said, it's they're kind of programmed, and it's also their situation, like their surroundings and the environment that they're in.
Yeah.
Like some people don't know how to make the most of what they have, or make the most of the environment they're in, and then it's kind of like take quip to self-pity. Like you're easily like, oh, well, why is this happening to me? And then just suffer for what you have.
Yeah.
So with that being like stuck in a cycle is crazy because and it's crazy because sometimes you just want to shake a person and be like, why are you doing the things you do? But you literally can't be mad because everyone has to go through that experience. And it's so crazy to think like we're all human, we all are living on earth together and we all learning the same lessons.
Yeah.
But how different people are on their paths. Like it should be crazy that we should all come together and kind of help each other learn and grow. But instead, you're standing off, you're running into this, you're running into that.
Yeah, some people aren't like at the space to accept it yet because a lot of people can't look at their own shadow side. They can't look at their own demons and face them. They live in fear. They don't want to look at it. Like I've had people, like when I try to tell them like the truth, they take it like personally, they take it harmful, and they take it like, oh, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to, like they try to dismiss it because it irritates their demons. Like they know if they look at that, then they know they have to face the reality and actually make a change. They can't keep running from themselves or the situation.
Yeah. And change is really important. Like, being born in all nines, I take it really, really serious about making a change, and I'm never the person that's going to be in the same place she left me. Especially when it comes to people, like you gotta evolve. And I feel like I kind of hurt a lot for people who are stuck in situations.
Yeah.
But you can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves, and then someone who really don't see the issue and the problem. So, okay, I have another question. What would you say the difference in believing in yourself versus actually doing?
Because belief is just in your mind, like doing it is an action, so that means you're implementing it into your life. Like you can wish for things all day, or you can believe things all day, but if you don't actually like put in the practice or put in the action to like get those things or achieve those things, then what's the point? I mean, you can say, oh, I want to be rich, oh, I want to drive this nice car, but are you actually doing anything to get you there? What are the effects of having a bad mindset? Like, how can that affect you daily?
Okay, having a bad mindset, what I know, like personally, of course, it makes you feel paranoid, and then also all of this really ties into self-esteem and how you feel about yourself and how you view your life and your life path. So I want to say having a bad mindset kind of keeps you in those trap situations. It holds you back from setting boundaries. It just doesn't set you up for success in being self-sufficient. So I want to say like a bad mindset is really believing that you can't achieve. And then another bad mindset is believing that you can't make a change. So yeah, and that's really where people get stuck.
And it's very detrimental to where you can really lose your life from that.
Yeah, really.
Just having your bad mindset. If you don't have control of your mind, you don't have control over yourself. Like a lot of people have other things controlling their mind. They don't even have control over their thoughts and feelings. Like I was saying earlier, like it's their programming or the outside sources feeding into them, and they don't know what to decipher. So it's very important to know what is right and what is wrong, and knowing how it affects you.
And even within your environment, like I said, it plays a huge part in knowing what it takes to make a difference.
For sure. Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the power of having a good mindset?
The power of having a good mindset is being able to grow. Like really not staying in one spot, because we're human. We age every year. We change every day.
Yeah. So
just having a positive mindset or a good outlook on life kind of opens the doors for opportunities that sometimes has been in your face for years. You know.
Sure.
So it's just having a good mindset really, it just opens up doors for your life. Like you can either choose to be stuck or you can choose to go, fly.
And also, God's not going to give you a blessing if you're not ready for it mentally. Like, why would He give you something you're not prepared for? You know. So it's important to make sure you're prepared always, so then you're able to receive those things, because you're not able to receive or be receptive to those opportunities or certain people because you're stuck in toxic ways or under like bad mindset influence. But yeah,
exactly. But that's why another reason it's so important to keep a good mindset, because without one, like, God is sending you a blessing every day. It's a blessing to wake up. It's a blessing to be yourself. So when you're not in a bad mindset, when you are in a bad mindset, you're not recognizing the things you're already blessed with.
Yeah.
So that
taking those things for granted.
Exactly.
It's kind of like a slap in the face.
And you'll never see a blessing, like, because you can't even appreciate the ones you have. Yeah.
Exactly. And I want to talk about how to deal with trust or trust issues in relationships, in all forms of relationships, not just romantic, like family, friends, just how to deal with trust in general.
And really, it goes back to trusting yourself, and then also setting those boundaries with self. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not going to allow that from them, but you allow the things you don't like about yourself. So you got to set yourself up for success before you introduce anyone into your circle of trust. Because if you don't trust yourself, your actions and your responses, what someone else does to you, you're always going to feel afraid or feel like it's ulterior motives or they're not being genuine. And then when people do break your trust, that's you either staying true to your boundaries and trusting yourself and knowing when to walk away, or letting your trust go within yourself to forgive someone else.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like you can manifest like bad relationships when you do have trust issues, because you end up pushing it away, or you kind of end up, like you said, paranoid, because that's kind of having a bad mindset. You don't want to live in fear or something. I feel like it's important just to see how a person moves and then go based off that. Don't really put like other expectations or your past experiences on people. And I know that can be hard sometimes, because like sometimes like you're traumatized.
But then that's another thing too.
So it's important just to take that time and communicate.
Yeah, and then even with that, like, you go through a lot. You're gonna go through a lot. So it's just having that trust in yourself, knowing what the next situation you're going to be learning the lesson you needed to know. So now when I'm dealing with you, I don't have to worry about trusting you, because I learned what I learned.
Yeah.
I know what I've been through, so now I'm a stronger person. Giving you my trust isn't going to break me this time.
And a lot of times people just ignore red flags. That's a big part of it. So like you can't really blame anybody but yourself, especially if the signs were there. Now some people do move with ulterior motives and they're really sneaky, so I understand. But I feel like majority of the time you can see the signs of based on how a person is, like if they're trustworthy or not, if they're loyal or not, and stuff like that.
And then even then, like you said, sometimes you want to watch a person grow, or you're both growing simultaneously. So you know you might not have been the best person, and then they're telling you they're not the best person, but he wants to try, or your mom wants to try to be a better person in your life. So you give them that trust.
Yeah, and I feel like you shouldn't just try, you should actually like do it. Like, you can't say, I'm trying to change. Like, we need to see the change, because if you're still in the same spot, like that's something that I've struggled with. Like with my family, I feel like it was a point in time where we kept having the same conversations over and over again, and it's like they acted like they wanted to be open and understanding, but nothing was changing on their end. I was able to understand their perspective and my perspective, but when it came to my perspective, it was like, oh, you're a kid, you don't know anything, or oh, that's not, like they try to gaslight you and think it's not real. And it's like, I'm not trying to say you're a bad person. I'm just trying to let you know, understand the situation we're in, so then we can both move from it and grow from it. But people lack accountability.
Yeah, they don't want to take accountability.
And I think that's a big problem, because I feel like you have to be able to take account. There's nothing wrong with taking accountability, especially if you're in the wrong. You have to know when you're in the wrong.
But that's what it goes back to, like trusting yourself and forgiving yourself. A lot of people hold on to vendettas against themselves. So when it comes to you,
they feel like they kind of deserve it. They kind of punish themselves.
Yeah, or now I deserve to treat you this way because I can't let this go towards myself. So, and that's another.
Self-sabotage.
Yeah, self-sabotage is real. It's really real.
I want to say like cutting people off, like letting go of people, like just how to deal with that in general.
Oh, like when it comes to cutting people off, you know who belongs in your space and who doesn't. So really just staying true to yourself, really trusting yourself and knowing where you belong and where you don't belong. I want to say it's hard, but when you make amends with things, they know exactly where they add up in your life. So you can't really force people to be anything more than what they truly are.
That's true.
I leave people right where they want to be. That's where
you want to be. Then shit, you can go do that over there. Don't bring that over here.
Exactly. And if I'm on a consistent growth, I'm on a consistent pattern, then I'm not gonna have that time to, you know.
I'm not gonna have time to be worried about that. Like I can't let that in. Like you have to know, you have to protect your peace.
Exactly. I'm not gonna have time to cut you off because I've already moved past you.
Exactly.
So that it is what it is. Some people hold on, and then it is crazy because, like, when it comes to like situations, I'm single or whatever, but I do have like no friends, and then you hold on to these guys, and you know this guy is not my guy. Like I know I'll probably never end up with him, but I'm holding on to the fact that I have a consistent conversation or a consistent attention to where that I'm able to express myself. So I'm like, easily I can cut off and move around, but I still find myself going back calling, making these phone calls, or putting myself in a box with a person I know is not my person.
Yeah.
So all that
that's testing itself.
Itself. It's truly self. But do I cut that person off? No.
Yeah.
And practice bad habits.
We all learn sometimes.
Yeah, I'm still learning. I'm not perfect.
Yeah, nobody's perfect. The process of elevating and creating a new reality for yourself when you're stuck in one that you don't want to be in.
OMG, it is a process. You can pivot at any time and change your direction and course of life at any time. When it comes to like really changing your life when you're on the path that you're on, you have to be self-confident, you have to have that mindset, and you have to forgive yourself from the past things you're in. And it's really not an overnight thing because you gotta right your wrongs, you're regretting things, you're holding yourself back. So in order to take that next step, yeah, you wanna wake up and start that new routine, but you have to give yourself grace to get over the things you've been through.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, it's important to get to the root of the issue. Like, if you're in a reality that you don't want, like be aware of what you don't want and figure out a way to get the things that you do want.
Yeah.
And then actually, like, your will has to be greater than the things that you're holding on to, like the things that are holding you back.
When you're stuck in a victim mindset, you feel like, oh, why not me? Or, oh, I could have did that, but my situation is stopping me. Yeah, you're making excuses, but when you know what it takes, it's only like a 1% mind. Only 1% of people's gonna get what they actually want out of life. Because they know what it takes and they apply it to their life. So in order to really make a change, you have to apply.
Dedication, discipline, consistency.
Consistency is really the key. It's not gonna happen overnight.
So it kind of goes into what I was saying about like shedding your old self, like how like the process like of being able to let go of like your old self and just being able to evolve past things that you know aren't good for you, that aren't just aligning with your new self. Like,
yeah, that's hard, especially in today's like environment, because you're on the internet. So you know, I know I'm on, like, right now I'm currently going through this right now. I'm changing my whole identity, my whole lifestyle. I'm doing it because I want a better person for myself. So when it comes to like, I'm on the internet, okay, and I'm seeing people posting, and I know I'm going through some shadow work. I'm working out. I'm changing my appearance. So I'm not capturing myself. Yeah, I'm not out there. So when I see pictures, it's so easy for me to pull up that old picture of me looking good. When I look at that, I'm like, she's not who I want to be. Like, she's not even me, but nor is she who I want to be. So really, like, doing the reflective work, looking in the mirror, and appreciating who I am today and appreciating who I was is gonna give me the confidence to continue to go.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it's definitely about accepting all parts of yourself, because some people will try to like, not demonize, but like bash their old selves, or they like self-hatred,
or even black it out.
Yeah, they kind of just don't like acknowledging it, so it kind of just holds them back from being the person that they really want to be.
Exactly.
Okay, and I'm gonna bring this back up. You have to understand, like, life is like a game, so you gotta know like when to move, where to move, like when the universe is telling you, watch out for this person, watch out for that person, when it's like a test to see how you're gonna get past it. Because I feel like everybody's meant to be in your life for a reason. Like, different circumstances happen to you for you to learn a lesson within it. I feel like there's a lesson literally in everything that you perceive in daily life if you look for it, and you actually have to learn the lesson and be open to what, like, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, whatever source, whatever you believe in, is trying to teach you in this life to make you elevate and become a better version of yourself.
I definitely agree. And it's also, like you said, knowing when to turn and who belongs in your life. It's like a train. You're on a train and you gotta know when to jump off. And sometimes you don't jump off and you're on the train with people you don't belong with, or you're headed to a destination where you don't need to be. So it's okay because the train's gonna come back around.
It's kind of like trading in stocks. You gotta know when to
Yes.
sell, you gotta know when to hold, you gotta know when to buy in, you gotta know when to move, you gotta learn the market. You gotta just be aware.
And then, but even then though, you jumping off and you're entering into a new atmosphere or a different place, and you might not have all the skills or equipped with everything you need to survive here, but it's either
You have to embrace the unknown.
yeah, or sink or swim though. Are you gonna get back on the bus the train when it comes back around, or are you gonna grow and adapt?
Yeah.
So not everybody has the power to grow and adapt in the situation, or even the mindset like, oh, I have this idea of who I want to be, but when you get there, or even when you put in the work to be there, you don't feel comfortable there.
Yeah.
So it's all about identifying, or actually where you belong.
Dealing with spiritual warfare and things that try to block you from your path. Like sometimes certain things will happen in my day just to like test my patience. You know what I mean? Like just to test you on certain just certain things, like even self-confidence, like things that'll try to hit you, see if you really got it to stay strong, or if you're just gonna be weak in the knees.
Girl, like I'm not even gonna lie. Like when I say I give myself so much grace, I give myself so much grace because I'm still growing and I'm still learning. So yeah, like hot breath used to piss me off, but now I'm grown enough, it don't piss me off that much. But it still so piss me off. And I do allow myself to experience those emotions and go through those feelings because it's either gonna be a place I enjoy or a place I never wanna be again.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like knowing yourself is really important.
Yeah.
First of all, and then with that you're able to travel. Like with that, you're able to put yourself out there and kind of evolve. I want to say, because I'm like, me personally, it's spiritually you never know until you know.
Yeah.
So
for sure. You don't know until you know.
You never know until you know. So I like to praise myself and I like to thank myself because I'm trying every day.
Yeah.
And when it comes to like bad energy and bad vibes, that's part of me too. Like I felt that, so I'm gonna express it when I can, and then self-reflect.
Yeah, I just like to identify where it's coming from first. So like I know if it's internal or external, and then like I said, I try to transmute the energy, like use it for something positive, like how you said, like something with your car, like just I try not to focus on it. If something happens that disrupts my peace, I focus on it first, I identify where it's coming from, I figure out an action plan, but once I figure out a plan, I just try to control what I can control in the moment, and then I learn from what I can learn from it, and then
look for the lesson in it.
Yeah.
And it's things that taste your patience, but like I said, you've grown. Like you've grown, and you have to acknowledge that. Like, oh, I would forgot about this, but you know what? I don't even care.
Mm-hmm.
And then how would you celebrate that? Like, instead of getting upset, how did it really make me feel?
Yeah. And how important it is to just spread peace and love to others.
Oh my God, you really treat others the way you want to be treated. Like it's the golden rule, truly. But it's like we're all human. We all going through things, and it could be a lot worse. So I just like to show gratitude because I'm grateful to be here, and I'm grateful that you're here too, able to experience life, because it's not promised today, and it's not going to be promised tomorrow.
Yeah. So for me, I just feel like it's important because love is the highest vibration, and there's a lot of things that try to keep us in fear and hatred and separation. So obviously love is so powerful that they don't want us to have it. So I feel like once you tap into that, a lot of things can unfold for you, like even just on a massive scale, like our world would just be a lot better if we just chose peace. Like I feel like war isn't the answer. Like there's no reason you need to be killing innocent people. Like there's no way you can justify that. There's no reason. I don't care how big the land is. I don't care how much money you're getting made from it. I just feel like the answer is peace, and then we will all be able to be abundant. There's no need for you to be fighting over a piece of paper.
But that sounds like what I said earlier. We're all human, and you would think that we kind of help each other out through this life path because we're literally going through the same lessons. We're all, it might look different for you, it might feel different for me, but we're literally going through this together. Yeah. You would think humans come together, show you that love, give you that gratitude and support. But
it's everybody's out for themselves. A lot of people just they aren't tapped into their true self. They're just in their ego. They're too much in the 3D world, and they just lack the ability to, like you said, have gratitude for what they do have and just be grateful. Because if you're grateful for what you have and the people around you actually show love and peace to your community, then you're
It's
not
gonna
going to be
reciprocate.
active. You're not going to be doing that because whatever energy you put out is what you're going to get back.
But
And
I also give those people grace though, because you know,
Yeah.
I know what the fuck I want. But then again, like I said, I've been in a place where I had to break myself down to see why you don't have what you want, you know? So now that my head's kind of on a swivel, I'm able to accept that from you. Like I'm not you, but
Yeah.
someone who doesn't know what they want, or I'm able to accept that from them and give them grace because yeah, you don't know what you want, and it's probably a lot that you've been through that kind of clutters your mind or not give you the chance to sit with yourself. Like a lot of people, don't have the time for
And that's why I like to help people like that, but also like you said, not everybody is open to receiving it. So it's very important to just meet each other halfway.
Lead by example.
Yeah, and lead by example, because once you're only putting out that energy of love, you can kill anybody with kindness. Like there's always a solution you can find. But yeah,
Definitely.
that's all I think that's it.
It's self-love, and I feel great even talking about it because being able to reflect, it's really a reflection in how I feel and what I think, and then being able to compare it with your thoughts definitely opened up my mind for the day.
Yes, for sure. I enjoyed this conversation. And I hope you guys liked the video, so please make sure you guys like and subscribe down below and check out my Doja products, and I'll link her channel down below. So
As well.